Right guys, so last time I spoke to you, I was in a bit of a rut and sort of covered the importance of a program and overall routine and structure. Because as I mentioned previously, I was a bit deflated despite having a really good bike ride and everything being good. I just was taking it a bit too easy in terms of my commitment to, like, mental commitment to the whole thing. And was being a bit blasé about it, and it's just not my nature. I'm an all or nothing sort of person, as I'm sure a lot of you are. So I've created my own program. It's really simple, probably not that effective in terms of progressing most efficiently, but it's something for me to tick off and feel accomplished. I'll just run through it quickly for you now. So every morning I go for a swim. It's either half a mile or a mile. I'm going to start biking to work, because my commute is 13 miles there, 13 miles back, so it's 26 miles a day. Just getting used to using the same muscles and building that cardio up and endurance. I will obviously, of course, go out on weekends and do big rides, and some nights I'm going to dedicate to riding as well. But I'm also going to, on an evening, outside of cycling and swimming, I'm going to do, for the first week, just a mile run, and then 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, and just add a mile every week. But if I feel good, that's not to say I might not skip up, and if my legs get used to it, jump up to 1 mile to 3 miles, 3 miles to 5 miles. But I'm also, I think, is something I really need to establish, is the fact that I don't want to stop doing other things that I enjoy. So I love doing martial arts, and I need to keep that in there. It engages my mind a lot more currently than the triathlon training. I think that will improve once I get fitter, but right now I'm just in this zone of, like, being tired and battling through a lot of the things that I'm doing. So yeah, like I say, I want to keep on doing the martial arts, even if it's just going on the heavy bag at the gym for half an hour. I like to do that, and I still want to do some resistance training, which is probably recommended by the professionals, but I'm just doing like bodyweight stuff, a few pull-ups, press-ups, dips and stuff like that. But anyway, that's not excuse me, it's not actually what I'm here to do today, guys. I'm going to go the distance today. As soon as I finish this, I'm going to jump to the gym, and I'm going to do the sprint triathlon distances. So that's not to say I'm going to do it in the same order, or race from the pool to the treadmill to the watt bike. I'm just going to do every discipline at the distance that it's set for the sprint. I'm not going to lounge around and take breaks in between and really recover, because I do want to get somewhat of a good assessment of the fatigue after you've jumped from one thing to the next. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 20k bike, 12 mile bike, on the watt bike, and then jump over to the treadmill, do the 3 mile run, and then jump downstairs, get into me swim shorts, jump in the pool, and do 30 laps of the pool, and that'll be it. So what I'll try and do is I'll record my timings and watts, etc. on the watt bike. I'll get a shot of the time on the treadmill, and you'll just have to take my word for it how quickly I do the pool thing, because I don't have a Garmin or any means to record that. So yeah, I think it'll be a good track. I'm going to aim to do it once a week in the gym, and just see if them timings get better as it goes on, and then you guys will have a measure of my improvement as well. So yeah, stay tuned, and I'll try and film some of it if I'm allowed to film in the gym. I'm not entirely sure if I can do that, but otherwise I'll just take some pictures and throw it over, and you'll be able to see where I got, and I'll check in after to let you know how it went, how I felt. So see you soon, guys. Right, so I did it, guys, which was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's like I said last week. I don't know if this is just an analogy that suits my brain, but the paint thing, when you think of painting your house and you just see it done, and you're just like, yeah, no problem, we'll paint it. And then halfway through the first room, and you just, regretting committing to it. yeah, it was the same as this. I just thought, I've run 3 miles. I've done loads of 20k bikes recently. Swim all the time. I think swimming's probably my most enjoyable discipline so far. But wow, it was tough to put them all together. Let me just get them up for you. I will put these on the screen, but it was 33 minutes and 33 seconds for the 20k bike. I tried to keep it over 200 watts power average, but I just dipped under 297 on the last leg. I just couldn't keep it up. But anyway, it's not too bad. The 3 mile was bad for me anyway, for what I thought I was going to do. It was 5k on the dot, 34 minutes 6 seconds. It does say pace 5 minutes 5 seconds a kilometre, but that's because I ramped it up at the end because I was just diabolical through the middle. And then I jumped in the pool at 5 to 9 and got out at 20 past. So no, sorry, I tell a lie, at quarter past. So it was 20 minutes, not 20 past. Felt strong on the swim actually. I think I was that fatigued from the run and the bike that I really had to just focus on form with the swim. So I was just trying my hardest to glide through and get my breathing in sync with my movement. So it was a strong finish. I know I've kind of done it in a really jumbled order. It's just because I wanted to jump out the pool, get in the shower, and then come home rather than starting with it and then having to get another shower when I leave. Just laziness, really, inconvenience. So on the whole, happy that I've done it. The only way is up now. With regards to time, I think collectively that's 97 minutes. That's so much longer than I knew I wasn't going to be anywhere near my goal, but secretly in my head, well, not secretly, but in my head I was thinking I'm going to do a sub-hour at the sprint on the day. And then when I heard that Matt had done 50 minutes, I was like, maybe not, because some of the times he was saying he was putting in is ungodly. I didn't realise people could do that sort of speed. I knew they could do that speed, but for the distance, and like after already having done the bike, he was saying something along the lines of, just over 5 minute miles for the half marathon on the 70.3. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, there's a long way to go if I want to break that sub-hour, which I'm still going to give myself that goal. Unfortunately, I didn't film much in there. Maybe if I was like an elite level athlete, I'd feel comfortable taking the camera in, but I just felt a bit self-conscious in there. Barely being able to breathe and basically making the entire gym soaking wet from the amount of sweat that was flying off me. So yeah, I thought I was just a bit self-conscious, so I didn't want to film myself. But I did get pictures of the time, so I'll pop them up. Yeah, on the whole, feel really happy that I've managed to do my first triathlon distance. I'm not disappointed in the time. I'm just surprised at how much steam you lose in between, like after each discipline. And I didn't actually take much time in between them, to be honest. I jumped straight off the watt bike, straight over to the treadmill. So I was on that within a minute of finishing the 20k bike. And then as soon as I got off the treadmill, jumped downstairs, got straight into my kit and jumped in the pool. I was in there within can't be more than 3 or 4 minutes. So the only thing I guess that you've got to take into account with the swim is at the end of every lap, I'm pushing off. So I'm getting maybe 2, 3, 4 meters from the push. I don't know how much that's nitpicking, I guess, at this stage for someone of my level, but it probably will be something to take into account as time goes on. I tell you what, as I'm talking now, I'm absolutely shattered. But yeah, on the whole, guys, happy with that. I'll track that personally and keep the 97 minutes and the wattage and stuff in there, and then maybe if I'm any good at doing graphs or whatever, I could do like a progress chart leading up to it, just to see if there's any increases. Or it'll be good to see the ebbs and flows, actually, because obviously with my naivety in pretty much everything, I just expect an increase from start to finish. But I imagine it's going to go up and down. Even speaking with Tom today, a fellow colleague who I work with, who's a really experienced rider. So I've been going to him with generic questions about riding. So for example, on Monday, I couldn't even do 20k on the watt bike, and I think it was just because it was the first time I'd been on the watt bike since I've been doing all the outdoor rides, and there's loads of different elements to that. One, it's flat, obviously, or it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's you know, mimicking a flat surface on the watt bike. When you clipped in, you're not exactly clipped. Well, I'm not clipped in. I've just got my feet in them straps that go over your feet, so you can pull up through your toes and curl your toes up and push down. But there's also an element of just lifting when you're clipped in, because it's underneath your foot, and just it being under rather than above, it uses a different muscle, and you can kind of really just pull and push. And I don't even know if that's what you're technically supposed to do. I think you're supposed to keep it like the constant pressure, like cyclical, rather than sort of down and up. But that's what I've been doing anyway, and especially because I've been fighting a lot of hills, because I live in the middle of the peaks, basically. Whichever which way I go from Ecclesall Road in Sheffield is into the Peak District or somewhere very hilly. So yeah, when I got onto the watt bike, it was like 130 watts, and I couldn't even get to the 20-kilometer mark. And Tom just said, you know, you're not a robot, you're a human, and some days you're gonna not be feeling it. And it was such a simple thing. I don't like, it really dawned on me that like, you know, you can't be on it every day. It was actually a really, like, I don't know, relaxing thing to hear. I don't know why. Maybe like I'm quite a go sort of person, so just to hear, like, you know, take the pressure off some days, and it's probably your body just telling you you've had enough, which, you know, you've got to listen to it sometimes. I'm probably yo-yoing a lot here, but I've just like then the antithesis of that is, like Matt was saying, he's had like one day off in some ridiculous amount of time, but I guess he is the GB duathlon winner, so he's really he's in it, he's fully involved. His body is a finely tuned machine, and he's a physio, so he probably knows when he's actually pushing his body too far, and when it's just niggles and things that you can work through. But yeah, I don't know, I guess like I say, he is a high level athlete, and I'm just, you know, a videographer who wants to accomplish something quite cool this year. So yeah, probably good to listen to Tom and just take a rest and realise I'm not a robot. But yeah, there's a lot of rambling there. Overall, super positive experience today. Now I know I can do it. My brain can just tell myself if I'm ever struggling through one of them again. It's like, you've done this before, you know, you can do it again. Even if you don't beat your first time, you can do it again, and then build them wins, and then eventually pick up some progress. But yeah, awesome. Because I couldn't help but think today when I was swimming, how I could see everything. I've mentioned this before. You can follow the lines in the pool, and you know, as you come out and then go back in, you can see where you're going. Whereas, and even like when people were swimming by me yesterday, and I was just catching their water, their splash, and it was going into my mouth, and like sometimes I was catching it in my nose. I was getting that sting from the chlorine. That panic sort of sits in because you've lost. I was in such a nice, like, in and out, and in such like a rhythmical, almost meditative state, that when that was interrupted, that's going to be a massive element of the wild swim, is being around so many people splashing around you. And it's kind of like you've got to find a peace in that chaos, and just stick to your rhythm and ignore, almost not treat them as external things, and just, that is the swim. The swim is the chaos, and you've just got to sit through it. I don't know if I'm just super tired and losing my marbles a bit, but I just, yeah, I think that's a big element. So I really want to get into the reservoirs and swim with a few friends, and sort of sit in people's wakes, take over, and experience that sensation, and also kind of how you guide yourself and see where you're going when the water beneath you is probably pitch black. But I think that's enough rambling for today. As usual, any questions, if anything I've said, if I missed anything out, if I didn't go into something enough, because I know I do, you know, meander through these things, give us a shout and I'll do my best to answer. But yeah, if you guys are training as well, that'd be really cool, especially if anyone's never done it before, and you know, you've just started, you're in the same position as me. That'd actually be awesome to see how you guys are getting on, see what your experiences are. Send footage in to the Marauder page. Yeah, that'd be incredible. So yeah, best of luck guys, and I'll catch you next week.